right now, you cannot successfully complete this probation. You have other things that are going on. So if you would like, I will revoke you. I will sentence you to 3 years, or what's going to end up happening.
Welcome to the Court of Justice.
Court is calling 2023 CR 7388, State versus Elliot Scott Vea. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett.
For the defense?
Gary Chirac.
And are you Mr. Veila? All right, Mr. Veila, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Elliot Scott Vea who was placed on deferred adjudication for the offense of robbery on 2023 CR 7388 for the offense of robbery on November 13th, 2023 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Elliot Scott Vea did then and there fail to report the supervision officer as directed for the months of May and June of 2024 in violation of condition number.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
State waives the remaining violation allegations, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge. He's agreed to go to Saturday.
All right, so how long has he been missing or not reporting? From what year?
The year last year.
I'm sorry?
2024. He does have a drug issue, and he's relayed to me that he does want help.
So you've been missing May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's 8 months. All right, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Elliot Vela.
All right, so you've been missing for close to 8 months. Did you ever call probation?
In the beginning I did, and then I stopped because I figured I had a warrant. I got a letter in the mail for Atascosa County that had a warrant, so that's why I stopped recording.
So why did you never reach out to probation and tell them you need help?
I really wasn't thinking. I was, like I said, I had a drug problem. I was just out there.
I mean, but here's the thing, having a drug problem doesn't excuse you for your responsibilities. So I'm trying to make a decision on whether or not to revoke you and send you to prison or whether or not to send you to treatment. And you're just saying, well, you know, I had a drug problem. You need to tell me something more. What have you been doing with your life?
Honestly, not much. I mean, I've been on heavy drugs for 15 years now.
I'm sorry, what?
I've been on heavy drugs for like 15 years now. So I mean, it's just been a revolving door, you know. And
Did
I've
you
never
even
had a
do any
program.
of your parenting classes?
Yeah, I completed. That was the first thing I did. And that waived my community service right off the rip. when
All
I
right,
did that.
probation. Did he complete his parenting classes?
Judge, I don't have, he completed any of his community service hours.
Well, with the parenting classes, the court said that the community service hours would be deemed satisfied upon completion. All right. Did you do your sober support meetings?
Yes, I was doing those. My PO had a copy of the first few months I was out. Yeah, I did those weekly. She had me doing weekly, but I was doing those.
Did you have employment?
No, not yet, man.
Well, not yet. You've been on probation since 2023. Did you ever have employment since 2023?
I'm just with my mom's boyfriend, her husband.
All right. See, and how's he paying you in cash?
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't do the cash and carry employment here. Do you understand? All right, probation. What are you all recommending?
Judge, the recommendation on the court summary is for status, all about aftercare. We do need to, tap quality in custody and then for him remaining in custody for the status. I did speak with Mr. Veila briefly, and he did indicate that he has been a long-term drug user. And I would also recommend a felony drug court referral.
All right. So I'm going to give you a choice. You know yourself better than probation knows you, better than your attorney knows you, better than I know you. But these choices come with honesty to yourself. You know, my grandmother would always say, you can be dishonest with other people if that's the way you choose your life, but don't ever be dishonest with yourself. At this point, right now, you cannot successfully complete this probation. You have other things that are going on. So if you would like, I will revoke you. I will sentence you to 3 years, or what's going to end up happening, you're going to remain in custody. They're going to do a TAP evaluation. And I'm going to order felony drug court referral. You're going to remain in custody for that. If felony drug court does not accept you, you are going to be in someone's inpatient treatment. So those are your two choices, 3 years in prison or treatment. Which do you prefer?
And with the 3 years, would I get back time for the time I?
You see, you'll receive credit for any time. Legally, I have to give you credit for any time you've been in custody.
And I would discharge my.
No, here's the thing. I don't do this thing where I'm talking to you about what parole is going to do.
Yes.
I can just tell you what the parole law says, but whether or not you're released or not, that's strictly on parole. We can go off the record. Here's the thing. There are certain things that you can listen to inmates about, and it will be true. One, how much time people are actually doing at the prison. An inmate, if they tell you how much time people are actually doing at the prison, usually that's true. Two, when everybody is catching chain, that's usually true. When they're trying to give you legal advice, usually not true. All right, we can go back on the record. What do you prefer?
I'll take the program.
The program, when you say program, what do you mean? Well,
Drug court referral.
it's going to be drug court referral or whatever placement they recommend. Probation has said SATF in this, but if the recommendation is safety, that's where you're going. And safety is 9 months.
I'll take TC.
He prefers TDC. Thank you for your honesty. It's going to be 3 years prison. Give you credit for any time served. And I'm sorry, are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Nordstrom. And there's also no contact with Adam Trevino. And I'll ask for the therapeutic community. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal? Oh, and I'm sorry, the court is finding you guilty and the court is going to revoke. And I know you understand what I meant, but it has to be on the record. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yeah. In other words, you don't
File
have.
court.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
You
This
don't- yes,
document.
Yeah,
All right. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
got a right to appeal. Yes.
All right. Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. When you are released from prison, you need to take care of your drug habit. Otherwise, you may end up on the side of a street where somebody's trying to identify your body. And I will say, I remember him. So when you are released, if you can't find a place that will help you with your drug addictions, you can always come back to here. If I'm here, I'll pick up the phone, call somebody for you, okay? All right, good luck to you, okay?
All right, good luck.
Court is calling 2025 CR 001162W and 2025 CR 001160W State versus Mark Anthony Guzman. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Phyllis Beal for the defense.
And are you Mr. Guzman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, have you received all discovery?
Yes.
And did you review it with your client?
Yes.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Guzman, in each of the cause numbers, did you review the documents entitled waiver of indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
In each of the cause numbers, do you understand you have a right to have a grand jury review the evidence and make a decision on whether or not to hold you over for trial? Do you understand that your attorney also has certain rights, 2 days from the passage of time once the information is presented, and also 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand by entering into these plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause numbers? In each of the cause numbers, did you review the document entitled information with your attorney? Did you understand them? And counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
And state, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes.
All right. And the cause numbers, you're charged with the offenses of unauthorized use of a vehicle and possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. Each of those cause numbers are state jail felonies. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow those pleas. If for any reason the court does not follow those pleas and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering these plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights? You need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor,
And do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Guzman, in each of the cause numbers, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, Your.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each of the cause numbers, did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your.
In each of the cause numbers, according to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 months in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. There's a $2,000 fine. There are no applications and the causes are to run concurrently. Did you understand that to be the plea in each of the cause numbers?
Yes, Your.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes.
State, is that the plea? Then in cause number 2025 CR 001160W, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
And the cause number 2025 CR 001162W, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
State in each of those cause numbers, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State office seeks exhibit.
No objections.
All right, state, you may be excused. In each cause number, did you review the documents entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations?
Yes, Your.
Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. In each of the cause numbers, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
And the cause number ending in 1160W. The court will sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. This will run concurrent with 2025 CR 01162W. And there's to be no contact with Alta Street in San Antonio, Texas. And in the cause number 2025 CR 00162W, the court will find you guilty. Court will sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $2,000 fine. Time and money to run concurrent. This will run concurrent with 2025 CR 00161W. Give you credit for any time served, and there's to be no contact with Alta Street in San Antonio, Texas. And each of the cause numbers, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? You need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because these are plea bargain agreements, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. If you don't do better, you're gonna find yourself living at the prison. You understand? All right, thank you, Phyllis, for coming back.
No problem. Judge,
Yes.
he actually lives on Alta Street.
Oh, well, here's the problem with you living on Alta Street. On Alta Street, they say you keep bringing people and selling drugs from your home and having crime there. That's what's gonna end up happening. If you end up on Alta Street and you're there, then you'll be there. But I will tell you this, police will not come on your street if you're not selling drugs and having vehicles that do not belong to you.
So
Here's the thing. People are tired. People are sick and tired of, you go to a neighborhood and guess what? Maybe your neighbor doesn't mow the lawn and you would appreciate them not mowing the lawn. But when it gets to the point where everybody's doing drugs, then guess what? The neighborhood goes down because everybody's doing drugs and nobody's calling it in. So they're saying you were doing drugs. Your next door neighbor doesn't want you doing drugs next to her?
don't blame her, and I don't. And
Well, I mean, they have you with drugs.
wanna rent my house out and move.
All right, so he's gonna rent it out, so we're good.
Elliot Scott Vea stands before Judge Stephanie Boyd with his hands in his pockets and his head hanging low. He's been on probation for a robbery case since November 2023, but for the last 8 months, he just disappeared, didn't report, didn't call, just vanished into the chaos of a 15-year drug addiction that's been running his life. When Judge Boyd asks him why he never reached out for help, Vea's answer is painfully honest. I figured I had a warrant, so I stopped. No elaborate excuses. No blaming the system. Just the raw truth of an addict who gave up. But Judge Boyd isn't looking for surrender. She leans in, her voice firm but not cruel. Having a drug problem doesn't excuse you from your responsibilities, she tells him. I need you to tell me something more. What follows is one of the most human moments you'll see in a courtroom. Vea admits he's been on heavy drugs for 15 years. It's been a revolving door. He completed his parenting classes, went to his sober support meetings for a while, worked odd jobs for cash. But the addiction always won. Then Judge Boyd gives him a choice that will determine everything. 3 years in prison, or fight for a spot in felony drug court with inpatient treatment. She warns him to be honest with himself. He says he'll take the program. But then, in a heartbreaking moment of self-awareness, he changes his mind. I'll take TDC, he says quietly. Prison. Because somewhere inside, he knows he's not ready to fight that battle yet. Judge Boyd respects his honesty. She sentences him to 3 years, then leaves him with words he won't forget. When you get out, if you can't find help, come back here. I'll make a phone call for you. Sometimes accountability and compassion walk the same line.